Rob the jewelry store and tell her make me a grill. Had a whole top diamond in the bottom row.
Hello, my name is Kaylee Moose, and today on March 31st, 2016, I will be interviewing over video FaceTime Isalina Machado. Her and her husband, AJ Machado, own a jewelry business called AJ's Jewelers down south in Miami, Florida, at a US 1 discount mall. So I'm going to connect with her soon here and ask her a few questions about the business, her startup, her business plan, financials, legal, and other general questions about their business.
All right.
All right, so we're going to get started. First, I want to start off with how you guys started up the business.
Okay, well, so AJ worked at a jewelry store called Italian Gold in downtown at the time. I worked at a law firm. And one day, the jewelry store where he worked got a fax saying that they were opening up an indoor, kind of like indoor flea market / mall, discount mall way down south. So he brought it home and he said, what do you think? You know, they're going to have, it's like not an individual store, so it's going to be easier. It's kind of like booths. And I said, well, if you want to, let's do it. And that was in June of 1993.
Wow. Have you guys ever thought about changing the location?
We have thought about it, but it's just worked so well for so many years. We've grown so much that, you know, he thinks if it's not broken, why fix it?
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
And business plan wise, did he just decide, let's do this, let's go, or how long? Did it take a couple months for him to come up with a plan and then take it to action?
You know, what's funny is we're 23 years old, you're young, you think you can do it all. There really was no business plan. He had some savings, which is what he used to be able to buy the one safe we had at the time because we started small. The one safe, also to make all the showcases for the jewelry.
Wow.
You know, your cash register, basic stuff like that, lights. But for the actual jewelry itself, I mean, we started really small.
Yeah.
He took, okay, not a loan, but what he did was the guy where he worked at, Giuseppe, that was his boss at the jewelry store he worked. He took him to the wholesalers in the Siebel building, and he said, you know, this is my employee that I've known for many years. He's going to start up his own business. I want you to give him credit. And I promise you, I'm going to back him up. If he doesn't pay you, I'm responsible. And initially, what we started off with was $13,000 in jewelry. No diamonds, just gold.
Yeah. Has your clientele always been the same, or has it changed from where you started to now?
It's definitely changed. When we originally started, well, first you have to understand we're way down south, so our clientele is basically African Americans. Yes. You know, I'd say more towards a low income. So that's really how we started. But I mean, it was a perfect opportunity to start there because it was right after Hurricane Andrew, and there was nothing down south, no kind of, you know, like the whole jewelry concept.
Yeah.
So that's how we basically started. And then we moved on to, which is funny because it's two ends of the spectrum, to professional athletes.
Wow.
And that kind of happened, well, the way that happened is you got to think, a lot of professional athletes come from Florida, not only Florida, but South Florida. And a lot of them, you know, originally they're low income.
Yes.
So they usually come back. You got to kind of say they come back to hood or whatever. But we started with, actually his name was Troy Davis, and he was actually from down south, and he was going to college somewhere, I don't know, Ohio or Iowa. I really can't even remember how one thing led to the next, and then just we started getting like UN players, and a lot of them were originally from down south, just coming by the store, and word of mouth. I mean, and through the years, next thing you know, these college athletes are going pro, and then word of mouth from one player to the next, and just a lot of traveling, going to the NFL Combine, the draft, visiting teams. And
Wow.
that's really how it grew to
That's incredible.
to our clientele being athletes. Okay.
Other than
So,
word of mouth, how else do you promote or advertise your business?
okay, it's also through Instagram.
Okay.
That our son Josh that works with us, he's the one that takes care of all of that, posting stuff on Instagram. A lot of times, also when our clients come to the store and they buy something, they go ahead and they do like a shout out on Instagram, so then everybody knows where
Yeah.
they got their stuff. So then maybe someone that we don't know sees it and is like, wow, AJ, and then they call AJ and they'll be like, I saw Von Miller had on this diamond chain,
Yeah.
I like it. How can we do it? So a lot of times, especially during the season when they're playing, if they can't come to the store, we ship the merchandise.
I saw you guys do have a website also. Did that start up recently or has that always
Yes,
been?
it did.
It did.
That that did start recently. We actually had one a while ago, but honestly, it was a disaster. Me and my husband are not very tech savvy, so Josh now has started. He hired someone, and they're fixing the website. I don't know right now if I want to sell anything on the website. I know that's a direction he's going into. So I figured, let's do one step at a time. Let's at least get the website going. So he's posting stuff, getting pictures, a client list. So that way, at least if someone wants to look you up, even if they can't buy something, they can
They can see
see
the
what you have,
merchandise.
the
Yeah,
people you deal with.
exactly.
Yeah. So
I love it. And legally, is there any licensing agreements or requirements that you guys needed in order to open up the shop or in order to buy jewelry and sell it, real or fake? Or is there any
yes,
licensing?
there is. There's actually a number of licenses. Well, besides, getting your sales tax certificate, because you need to pay sales tax. For example, depending on the in which your business is at, you need to get a city permit, which is like an annual fee you pay every year. Since what we do sell, a lot of the stuff is by weight, and we use scales, special scales to weigh the merchant, like when it's gold. Then it's done something through the state of Florida, a special licensing scale, and then you pay that fee every year. Every year they come to your store, they make sure your scales are accurate. There's also now, because of so much theft, we don't do any pawns, and we don't buy any jewelry. But what we do is, for example, let's say you bought something from me, and you want to go ahead and upgrade it. So technically, you're trading it in. So there is a special form that needs to be filled out, and with a person's fingerprints and all that. Because what
Wow.
helps with that is that, let's say if the item is stolen,
Yeah.
they have a way of being able to track it. So there are a number of forms that you have to keep up with. But other than that, that's basically it. And AJ did go to gemology school, so he's licensed and he
That's good.
knows about diamonds and gems and stuff like that.
Speaking about theft, how do you handle internal and external theft? I think external is easier, so we can start with that. How do you lock up the store and put away? Do you put everything in a safe? Do you take it home? What do you do with it?
Yes. Well, not only do we have an alarm system at the store. We
Okay.
also have a special alarm system that has to do with vibration and heat. And the
Wow.
reason you do that, because the thing is, and you put those vibration and heat sensors are all around the safes. Now we have three. And the reason you do that is because you've heard a lot of cases where the way they break into your store is that they'll use a drill through the wall of like the next business, and then they get to be able to drill through the safe. But this way, if the safe senses any kind of vibration or heat,
That
the
goes
alarm
off too.
system will go.
Wow.
And then, yeah, and then every night, everything gets put away. Everything. All the diamonds, they all go in a special diamond safe, and then all the gold goes in two other safes. And besides that, we also have a special jeweler's insurance, which in case, like I said, since he does do a lot of traveling, you have to make sure when he does travel that he's insured to be able to cover the amount of jewelry that he
Yeah.
takes with him.
Yeah, that makes sense. And internal theft, your hiring process, because I know you have a lot of family that works at the store with you, but you also have other people who aren't family who may be tempted when surrounded by diamonds all day.
Yes, and that has happened. Primarily, it's all family, like you said. But we do have right now 2 employees that are not family. I wish I could say we've never experienced internal theft, but it's a business, like you said, that's very tempting. You can easily slip a chain, a diamond ring into your pocket.
Yeah.
So we have had instances where that's happened. I wish I could tell you there was a solution to that. The people that we have hired that have not been family, we never advertise. It's all been through a friend or someone that knows someone and supposedly knows them well, and also one of us is always at the store. Either my husband or I are always there.
Yeah.
So either we're both there most of the time, or if he travels, I'm always there. So I'm always there, super on. Oh, we also have cameras. We have cameras going all the time. So if there's ever any doubt, you can rewind and see what's going on. And when there has been theft internally, then the person has been terminated and,
Do you think that keeping it sort of like a family business with you, your husband, and one of your sons, do you think that builds a better atmosphere to work in?
Yeah, it does, and I'll tell you why. Remember, no one is ever going to run your business or work your business the way someone that has interest in the business.
Yeah.
It's sad to say, but when you're an employee, it doesn't matter whether you sell or don't sell, because at the end of the week, you have your salary. It's not the same that when you walk into a business, you can tell when it's the owner that's taking care of you, because that person will go the extra mile to make sure you're happy. So yeah, I think it definitely makes a difference.
Do you think it's impacted your family, like at home?
Yes. On the other hand, it's not easy to work.
No, it's not.
It's not easy to work with your husband, or vice versa, or work with your son. Because then, it's 10 hours you're there working, and when you're working, even if you are family, there's certain rules that have to be followed and everyone else. And a lot of times, unfortunately, when you do work together, you tend to bring, whether there's an issue going on, you tend to bring all those things home.
Yeah.
But, I think the good outweighs that.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, yeah.
Okay, and my last question for you is if you have any advice for anyone who wants to open up their own business. Other than
what can
it's
I tell you?
Hard.
You know what? Everything is hard. No matter what you do is hard. I would tell you that, but it's different when you're at a job that's not, you go home at the end of the day, or you take vacation, or whatever happens, the place burns down, that's not your problem. I will tell you that there's a lot of sacrifice involved in having your own business, but I will tell you that if you work hard at it, you give it your all, that it'll definitely pay off. It'll be worthwhile. I think it's if it's a possibility, it's the best thing that a person can do, because there's nothing like working for yourself.
Yeah.
And also, when you start small and you get bigger, you appreciate it because you know all the sacrifice and all the work that it's taken you to get there.
Had a whole top diamond in the bottom, rose gold.
Yo, we about to start an epidemic with this one.